Alright, Frontal Blessings. We are back with another video. Before I begin, just a couple quick announcements. If you're interested in a spiritual reading or a spiritual consultation, I offer various different types of readings: telepathic demonic readings, shadow work readings. Shadow work readings are always a great thing to do if you're looking to see, again, what you got going on, the shadow, the hidden self. It's, good reading to do. It'll give you a sense of purpose and direction as far as your ritual work. There's a lot of people, sometimes always wondering, what should I be doing, ritual-wise at this time? And I always say this: focus on your needs first before your wants, all right? I offer Egyptian oracle readings, Santa Muerte readings, deity readings to see what gods, goddesses, demons, and spirits walk with you. Maybe you're just interested in a spiritual consultation because you got a lot of questions about the occult, the left-hand path. Any of the aforementioned, shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com. Please include in your email your full weekly availability along with the time zone you are in, and we will find a day and time that works for us. All right? Also, don't forget to check out the social media pages: Primordial Chaos 9, all one word, on Instagram; Primordial Chaos, 2 words, on Facebook; primordialchaos.com 3 on TikTok. Those are the best platforms to stay abreast of what I'm doing here at Primordial Chaos. That'll keep you up to date on the latest happenings, announcements, classes, events. Go to those platforms. Please subscribe, and that'll keep you in the loop of what I am doing. Also, if you want to sign up for classes, the way to sign up for classes is go to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3, that's the tier you want to join. That's going to give you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon for Patreon members only, including the group ritual we do together at the end of the month. Also, keep in mind, when you join, just doesn't give you access from the day you join. Moving forward, it gives you access to everything in the archives going 6 years back. If you want to see all the current ongoing classes, go to patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, and go to the collection section. You will see all the ongoing classes, and it's a bunch of them, with constant new classes being added on a consistent and regular basis. All right, so check that out. Also, takes a second. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. It gets the algorithm of the videos out there. It takes 2 seconds. Also, when you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hit all notifications, and hopefully you do get a notification when I go live or post a new video. Also, don't forget to check out the podcast, available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. A direct link to my podcast, all the links to the social media pages, my contact email address, and the link for the Patreon page to sign up for classes. All those links are in the description box of this video you're watching right now. All right, so what I always like to do after the annual Black Adept conference is complete, which it is complete. Today is Monday, November 3rd, and it wrapped up a very eventful 4-day event. We put a lot of time and energy into these conferences, and everybody that comes and participate. And I kind of want to just do a recap again to paint the picture, to address some questions, because I always get every year the same email: are any of the classes for sale, the rituals, the conference, this, that, and the third. So I'm going to, again, and I know I'm going to have to do it every year, because no matter how many times I do it, I will still get those emails, because some people might have come after the last conference, so I get it. So first I want to recap the 4 days and what we did. Well, first I want to send a shout out and thanks, to all the people who attended. We had a couple of newcomers for the first time this year. It went very well with them. But I also want to acknowledge a couple of people, especially that always help and put the work in every year. First I want to give a shout out to Raven, who always does little things, a little organization, bringing cupcakes and water and, stuff for the conference, and always just doing a lot of things you don't see behind the scenes. And she's been involved since day one. I also want to shout out to Brother Demetrius, who's been coming the last few years. And not only does he come, but he's willing to help out. He assists us in the ritual work. He gets right in there. He's been doing it the last couple of years for us, in addition to presenting and just participating in the conference. He comes and he helps out and he works. And it's good to have that experience in addition. It's just a big help. So shout out to Brother Demetrius for always coming through, and not just coming through just to sit and watch, but he participates, and most of all, he helps with the rituals, and he works and he volunteers his time. So I appreciate that. And I'm sure when he comes next year, he'll do the same thing. Shout out to Eric. Eric is Eric. We'll share some of the Eric moments later. Eric, there's always some signature Eric moments. Brother Eric Morris, when he comes to the conference. He's been coming for a while too, so shout out to Eric for supporting, and everybody else. But I'll get to that. I'll get to that another time. Rashad, he came through. Again, shout out to some of the regulars that have been coming through for the last several years. But I'm going to do a recap of kind of what went on, how the conference works, for those maybe who next year are kind of maybe considering or want to attend. All right. It's a 4-day event, so this is kind of how we kicked it off this year. Though I don't reveal a lot of it leading up to as far as the ritual work, because to be honest with you, I flow with it. Got an idea of what I want to do, but as everybody knows that's there, none of it is really planned, and there's a reason for that. Well, I want to say first and foremost, the reason why I do not like, as far as Patreon, I have a ton of content on Patreon and YouTube, and I do a monthly ritual, which is easy to do from the location, because obviously it's not like a conference where there's more people there live, and it's a lot more going on. Well, for those that email or any of the classes for sale for the conference, anything, I don't record any of it. I don't share it on any level except for those who participated and those who attend virtually online. And as I've said the last couple of years, and I'll reiterate again, and I said it on Sunday's class, I want it to be a special thing. It's like back in the day, I used this analogy. Think about before we had all this technology. If you're an older person, in my generation, say around that time, we didn't have YouTube, the internet, Facebook, right? I want the conference to stay a special event and a special moment for people that are able to attend. And the reason for that is, it's like back in the day when you went to an event or a party, and then maybe you couldn't attend, and you run into somebody who was there and they say, oh man, you had to be there, this, that. I want to keep it very personal, special, and sacred for the individuals who, one, I know in this day and time, the economy is not the greatest. I know this year reaching out to some people that people had reached out to me, just didn't have the resources to make it this year. And, some people are, trying to maintain and budget their money and their balance, and I totally get it. But I like to keep it very personal, special, and sacred for each individual. It's just with so much with the internet and now everything and everybody's records and every moment of nothing is really kept sacred anymore. So I keep the conference very personal. So this is why I don't film or sell any of it. Because I myself want to focus and be engaged in the conference too. It's one of those things, right? So I just want to address that, and we will continue to do that moving forward unless something changes. But for the current moment, I don't really see that changing, okay? For all those who might be interested in attending next year, so we've done it now for 8 years, and it's become, it's just becoming a growing thing. It's becoming an annual tradition. We've also incorporated some annual traditions at the conference, right? For those that have come to last year's, like at the Dragon site. We went back there this year that we did last year. So we're going to do that every Friday on the opening first day of the conference, after not the opening ritual meet and greet, which I'll talk about that in a minute. So we will continue to incorporate, things that we're doing. We have a stable location unless we outgrow it and we don't have enough of space. So we've got a good venue. For those that have come, you see where it is. You're in the heart of Fort Lauderdale, close to the beaches, minutes from the airport. And as I said, we have multiple people who attend and don't even rent cars. They Uber it everywhere. For an example, Brother Demetrius literally stays at a hotel the last few years, a couple of blocks, which you can pretty much walk. That's how close it is. And he just Ubers it around. Brother Rashad has done that the last couple of years. We select the location because we want to make it convenient. We want to make everything as accessible we can as far as hotels, lodging, food, and if you want to experience that whole South Florida experience, some people come from places where they don't have access to the beach and that kind of tropical environment. So the location is ideal. And some people kind of, do both when they're here. It's a spiritual trip and sometimes a mini vacation. I know Brother Eric does that. White Tiger, baby. White Tiger. They know what that means. I'm going to leave that there. But anyway, so yeah, if you're planning, the other important thing I want to throw out there, I keep it always in the last weekend. It's done right on Halloween weekend, around Halloween, the last weekend of October. So this way, it stays the same. I have reasons for that, but also this way an individual they know it's going to be that same time every year so they can plan. So I say that to say, start planning. If you want to really come, first, just put a little money aside every week, budget. And I get it, but I make sure we keep it set at the same weekend every year for the last 8 years. So this way we have that ability where people can plan, especially people traveling from out of state. All right. So let me just do a quick recap. And the reason why I titled the video, the Black Adept Conference, Year of the Personal Daemon, that was the theme. I don't tell anybody what we're going to work on until they get there, and there's a reason for that. So on Thursday evening, the meet and greet, we did the opening ritual at the Indian Mound, which we have, as you know, Florida is land of a lot of Native American Indian tribes, just like many other places in the United States. So we opened the ritual honoring the Native American spirits and our ancestors. There was an ancestral aspect to the ritual working. Okay. We went to an Indian mound. This area here where we are down in South Florida, there's a strong presence going back to the 1300s with the Tequesta Indians, the Seminole Indians. And as you know, if you branch up and you keep heading north into Florida, into Georgia and Mississippi, there's a connection with like the Choctaws, the Shoshone tribes. As you keep heading up the East Coast, the Mississippians, you name it. Just all those tribes, the Washita, the Yamasee, all those different tribes. So this year, it was calling out to me for months prior, like, look, we've got to do something to acknowledge the Native American spirits because this is their land. We're doing intense spiritual ritual work. And I do work with Indian spirits in my spiritual work because I have Indio spirits that go back, a while to the 90s. And I've never really done anything with it. So we opened with an invocation at the Indian Mound. We fed the earth and the water. It was nice because the mound had a little walk-around trail as you came off it and a pathway straight down to the water. So first we fed the earth, then we fed the water, and then we did our own I'm just going to give you a brief summary. Then we just did our own personal thing there, acknowledging our ancestors, and then like we do every year, we just go somewhere. We went to another Dandy Donut location near there, and we had a little coffee and donuts and kicked it. And that was that. That was Thursday night. Friday's always the longest, most intense day. It's the first day. There's a lot of energy, a lot of shit going on. And the ritual on Friday night is the one that really, will put a lot of energy and effort, and you feel it. You go through it. So we did the classes and workshops. And again, shout out to those who did attend online. Let me acknowledge those. I know attending virtually is not quite the same thing, but at least you get access to the classes. So for those that did attend virtually, I appreciate the support. Thank you. So Friday we did the classes and the workshops. At the lunch break, before we went to lunch, we went over to the dragon site. We did the invocation of Leviathan, which we're going to make that a annual tradition on the Fridays of the ritual, because Everybody likes that site. It's cool when you go there and see it. I know I put some pictures up of it last year. And it's amazing how there's all these iguanas. There's a gang of iguanas all over it. It's just got such a powerful energy. So we did that, went to lunch, kicked it, came back, finished up classes and the workshops, and then we came back Friday evening. The ritual for Friday, and this was the theme of the conference, was the personal damage. And the ritual we did Friday night was communion with the personal daemon. Not going to get too much into the details of the ritual, but just to give you an idea what it was. And I can tell you, I don't think people expected, because there was a couple people that came to me and said they didn't expect that, in a good way, not in a bad way. And I want to say this: when you come, or you do come to the conference, keep in mind it is work. We're doing spiritual work to grow, and especially on the rituals, be prepared, because, you know, we don't know what can happen, as far as sometimes things change in the moment. And as I said before, with the rituals, I don't write anything out, plan anything out. I just roll with it in the moment. I get an idea in my head of what I want to do, and then we set it up. And then I had a vision of it leading up the couple days before. I don't focus on it too early, because and this is just how I work. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody else. I want it to be very raw and powerful in the moment, because I found going years back, when you prepare too early, it kind of takes the oomph out of it, if you know what I'm saying. And it just didn't work for me. I stopped that years ago. Now, I like it chaotic, on the fly, in the moment. It just, to me, it comes out better and more effective. But we set up an initiatic style ritual. We guided the candidates into the, you know, we always have it set up. There's a little chamber room where everybody sits before the ritual in silence and darkness and prepares. And then you never know what you're in store for when you enter into the ritual space. But it was communion with the personal daemon, and everybody had a point in the ritual to summons their personal daemon on a personal level. And then we finished our group collective work. And then on Friday night, went out to eat Upper Deck. There's a spot not far from where the conference is that we like to go on Friday nights. It's called Upper Deck. We all just went in there and kicked it. Got a little grub, food. Got back at it again on Saturday. All day. And shout out to Sister Kiona. I know she did an online presentation. I want to acknowledge her. All the presenters. Again, I want to acknowledge you for you guys volunteering your services to participating in the conference. And look, I'm just going to say this. Not that anybody has ever, requested that. I just want to be clear. The cost of the event, for the most part, comes out of my pocket. Even the cost that people pay, there's really not much money made on the event after we're done, because the rental space. And the main thing I say that is because if anybody volunteers to present, but not that anybody has ever asked. No, I'm not offering to pay anybody. What I do offer is, if you have your own products, or you've written a book, or you have your own site, I let people promote their stuff if they have stuff. That's what I offer. I'm not going to, it's a 45-minute to hour presentation, So if that ever comes up for anybody, what I do offer is you can advertise your products, or you can advertise your brand if you do a presentation at the conference. That's the best I can offer. Now, it was different if it was like we were having a conference, like these evangelists or something, and there's 1,000 people there, or whatever, hundreds of people. Then you're talking a different economic status. But we're talking about an event, 12 to 20 people a year. It just depends. So throw that out there. But anyway, so we come back Saturday, classes and workshops in the day. And then Saturday night on the beach, we drummed for a couple hours straight, nonstop. We didn't even stop. And that was the Chaotic Waters of Nun ritual. We acknowledged at the water. We all got to the edge of the water. We acknowledged, and that ritual was about that the womb of the female is that sacred cavern that we all enter into this realm. It was focused on the primordial goddesses of the water, focusing on Nun, Nunette. And then we went into some really good drumming. Also, it was awesome to see, Brother Mike, who I still stay in contact with, but we had some visitors we hadn't had in a while that made it to the beach on Saturday for the drumming. We hadn't seen Brother Jack in a couple of years. He made it down, got on the drums, and did his thing. Shout out to Brother Mike. Me and Mike been drumming together for a while now, and he always comes through when he's able to. And you see Mike sometimes at the monthly rituals. And Brother Kev came through, which was a shock. I'm just glad to see him. We hadn't seen him in a couple years. He came through, and we all just kicked it, man. But the drumming was awesome. I always liked the drumming. I saw and experienced personal things while the ritual was going on like others, but we're going to keep that where it is. We was just locked in, and it was just the energy on the beach was one thing I noticed was so different, and it was so still and calm. Wasn't even a breeze on the beach, and it was almost like a misty. I'm trying to describe it. When you looked out into the water, because it was so calm and clear, but it almost looked like you were looking through some misty hourglass or something. It was just a very ambient vibe is the best way I can describe it. But I think it was supposed to be like that because of what we were doing on. And I think the stillness of it, and to me, was a spiritual thing of how I tapped in personally, because it's never really like that out there. And we go there all the time to that location. There's always, some type of breeze. It's cool. It was still. You would have thought, if you close your eyes, you wouldn't even have knew you were on the beach. But just to feel the sand at your feet, to be around and smell the salt water, which is very therapeutic, and it's very invigorating, and it recharges you. And we got to get out there a little more often. We used to go out a lot. We used to try to be consistent once a month. So we got to make a little better effort to get out there and use that as a recharge, just to go out there and hit the drums. But the drumming was awesome. It was good to see some brothers. We had more people, a really good turnout on Saturday night at the beach, because there were some people who couldn't make the first day. And then we also had a shout out to Sister Aisha. She had some travel issues. She didn't get there till late Saturday afternoon. And then she was able to be at the question and answer class yesterday. So some people did have some issues. You got that the federal government shutdown is affecting the FAA and, TSA and all that. So, if you are traveling until they resolve this government shutdown, be aware of that, because people are running into delays. But, you people that were there when they were there, that's when they were supposed to be there. So shout out to all the people who made that effort and energy to get there. Again, I was grateful to see my, me, Jack, and Mike, even Kevin. We go back a while, and life sometimes happens, and different things happen in people's lives, and they make moves or they move away, or that's just part of the process of life. But it was good. I think it was meant. The spirits, the ancestors, the gods and the goddesses were able to get us together, and man, the drumming was fucking awesome, man. Drumming was fucking awesome. That's the best thing I could say. I got one good pick, that Raven shot. I'm gonna try to post that. So shout out. It's good to see them. After we wrapped up the drumming, we go right up the street. There's to me one of the best Flanagans in the South Florida. We went there, ate, chilled, kicked it, food. Put it this way, Friday night, we didn't get done till damn near like 2 o'clock in the morning. About 12:30, 1 o'clock on Saturday. So the other thing I want to tell people when they come, be rested, be ready. We're at it for pretty much 4 days straight, literally. So if you come gung-ho, ready to go. That's what I'm trying to say, because we're going to put in the work. And again, the conference was designed for the sole purpose of us having an annual event where we can get together and fellowship, spend some time doing ritual work, and of course kicking in and having a little fun, a little socializing, right? So just prepare. If you're gonna come with that mind, like you want to get it on. Let's do it. That type of mentality. That's what you got to come with. All right. And then Sunday, noon to 4. I know some people had to break out early. Not everybody was able to stay. And then we had a question and answer session on Sunday, which went good online, and for the people that were able to stay. And that basically is just it's an open question and answer forum. We do a quick recap about the conference, kind of like we're doing here, but kind of talk about some more things in depth and detail. And that pretty much wraps the conference up. That's kind of the format we use. So I always like to do a recap. I always like to plant them seeds for next year. For those that want to attend, little tidbits like, look, it's the same time every year. You can start to prepare. And we've done it 8 years in a row right now, you know. And now next year will be the 9th year in a row. And I start pumping the conference after the holidays are over. So you won't hear too much about it now. But once the holidays are done and we get into like February towards the spring, early spring, once the winter season is over, I will start pumping the conference again. And before you know it, it'll be October. But man, this is my favorite fucking time of year, man. And because Halloween was on the weekend this year, I don't know about where you guys are, but where I am here in South Florida, Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, man, everybody was doing it big this weekend with Halloween. I know being on the weekend had a lot to do with it. So it's just like Halloween, the conference and the Halloween is like, you know, to me it's the opening season as we approach the holiday season. Now we're in November already. We'll be talking Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to it. I got my sister coming from out of town. We got some good family shit planned. I got some hockey events that I look forward to with my little guy. He's got a big hockey tournament right the weekend. That's Saturday after Thanksgiving. He's got a big tournament after Christmas in New Jersey. So all this is like, it's connected. Hockey, Christmas, the holidays, the conference. From October to January is my favorite time of the year. It's just my favorite time of the year. And so I'm looking forward to getting now back into the groove and ready for this. Now that the conference is over. And man, I could tell you Friday night going into Saturday, I was tired. I had to recharge, man. It's a lot. It's work, man. The constant moving and, you know. And again, shout out to everybody that assists, helps, puts the work in. Again, you know, the people that have been supporting for the last several years, like Brother Eric and Rashad and definitely Dimitri's. Yeah, I mean, it's a great thing when we have the ability, you know, to come together on that level, and we'll do it again next year. So I kind of just wanted to run through that. Like I say, this year we always have a theme for the conference. This year it was for focusing on the activation of the personal daemon, which is critical and important on this path, and I don't think enough of people focus on it. I'm going to be touching, and I got an idea what I want to do for the next live inspired by this conference. I know it's been a few weeks. I've gotten some emails. I'm trying to get back live this week now that things have kind of calmed down a bit and gone back to normal. And then we'll go from there, all right? So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody's support. I want to thank everybody that made the 8th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference a great event. And we're just getting stronger and stronger every year with it. So we will be looking forward to the 9th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference, October 2026. And who knows what the fuck we got in store. We don't know, right? We just roll with it. But I'm sure we will come up with something good again, like we always do. All right, I appreciate everybody's support. Again, if you need to reach out to me for a spiritual reading, a consultation, my contact email address, along with the links for the social media pages, the podcast, all those links in the description box of the video you're watching right now. Again, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, all notifications, check that box, and hopefully you get a notification every time I go live or post a new video. All right, I want to thank everybody again for all your support. Infernal blessings, and we will talk soon.